the one thing that constitutes what art is, like my biggest opinion is
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 5 of the podcast. It's Hunter.
and it's Joelle.
So today, I wanted to do something a little bit different. We're going to have a mini kind of game show. I have some performance art pieces that I've pulled off of different social medias that have been trending for a while now. Some of them are really new. Some of them are a couple of years old, but I want to get your take. We'll see, are they trendy, or do we think that they're not so cool, maybe a little bit trashy as far as art goes? But first, I would love to hear your take on what you think kind of constitutes art. What does it have to what qualities does it have to have? What kind of intention, if any, does it have to have? Can anything be art? What's your take?
What is art? Freedom of expression, babes. I think there's a difference between, like, how do I even word that? There's hobby art, and then there's fine art, and then there's performance art and all that jazz. I think a lot of people probably fall in hobby art more than fine arts. Like, for the festival that we're doing, I'm one of the art directors, so we went through all the list of artists, and some of them were more vendor-type art, not exactly fine art. So, like, we had to find the difference between the two to be like, okay, your art is fine art, and we want that in the gallery. Hey, your art is more... I don't like saying hobby art because that, like, it's not hobby art. It's like, it's art, but it's not fine art for gallery that we were curating, you know?
What are the standards that you kind of put on what you're looking for when you're the director, you're kind of coordinating what's going to be in a show? What are some of the standards that you put that kind of separates maybe art that would fit in and art that might not be exactly what you're looking for? What are those kind of criteria?
So this is, like, my first time being an art director and actually having to, like, choose and whatnot, and it's a group of us. But I think what we were mainly looking for was the cleanness of the art, the style that was being, like, used. So some people had more colored pencil drawings type beat, and we were looking for, like, paintings and, like, something that's gonna provoke you and have that composition of the flow and all that, and that was fitting within our what was it? So, like, my art is trippy, and we're looking for art that complemented everyone. And shit, how do I even verbalize this? We were looking for those artists that you could tell that their artwork was, like, I don't know, sometimes you can just look at a piece of artwork and be like, damn, that deserves to be in a museum. Like, one of those, like, something that evokes an emotion, it has a beautiful color flow, it's balanced, you have nice contrast, you have the composition, your rule of thirds look good. I think the one thing that constitutes what art is, like, my biggest opinion is composition. Rule of thirds, is there flow within your piece? And I learned this from photography. So, like, this is kind of like addition to, like, the last episode. Studying the elements and principles of, like, photography really helps boost your art. But composition is your rule of thirds and how your painting is placed. If you don't have a nice flow to your painting, it's probably not going to end up on the walls of the gallery, you know? But if it does have a nice balance, like, if we look at this one right here behind me, let me move some things. This one, you can tell, has a Fibonacci spiral that makes your eyes kind of just flow around it. And I think that's what, like, kind of shows if that piece of artwork is good. That's my main rule, is composition is the first thing I'm looking for. And then color, balance, contrast, all that stuff, and then whether or not it's with the theme that we're looking for, which was trippy, consciousness, and how do I even word this? I'm bad at it. So, like, the theme is lucid dream, so you can kind of picture what we would be looking for. It's, like, dreamy, earthy, trippy,
Definitely some sort of ethereal kind of vibes, cosmic inspirations, that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes. So we definitely got a bunch of cosmic inspiration, and we got people that are using cosmic inspiration in the gallery.
I can imagine.
You can tell.
This being your first time being an art director, how does it stack up to what you would have thought it was when you got asked to do this? Is it more difficult, a little bit easier? How does it feel to be judging kind of different people's art based off of these standards? Is this something you were always kind of doing, or is this kind of new for you?
I think with everyone's art that I see, I'm already immediately critiquing it. So I know what I like. I feel like I would know what other people like. It and like so like in this art director column, like I'm kind of at the bottom, so because I'm new. So I expected to be doing more, but it's fine that I'm not because like whatever. I need to make a group chat today. But it's completely fine, and like I'm helping with setting up the gallery. So like when we get all the pieces there, I'm kind of gonna like help with arrangement. And then I think the one challenge is like getting things that need money paid for. So like lighting that we're trying to source. The lighting in the campgrounds is like a nasty fluorescent light. And my girl Timo Foyd, go check her out on Instagram. She has great art. She was like, yeah, I don't think that we're gonna do that because it's gonna make me throw up the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to see my art in tungsten lighting either. So we're trying to have to source lighting for that, which I'd say is like not too difficult, but it's like if you're thinking money wise on how much you got to spend or whatever, that might be a little one of my worries. That's one of my worries at least. Other than that, I just have like high hopes of like this is just gonna turn out the way it needs to regardless, and I trust the people that I'm working with because they've done this so much more. But yeah, I think my own challenge is just doing what I need to do. I'd be a sleepy girl.
And where would you say, not in this show obviously because it wouldn't fit in, but how would you compare different types of art as far as performance art and maybe physical art, being like painting, something with some sort of medium? How do those kind of go together, if at all? Is there crossover? What's your kind of take on that?
I don't think I've seen crossover. Have you? Oh, wait, whatever. That one kind of is the Banksy one.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Something that...
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll see on different like talent-based shows and things, someone who will do a live painting and where it involves, one time I watched one where he did like charcoal art and he had to flip the canvas upside down and like throw powder at it for you to kind of see the thing behind it. So in my mind, that's kind of some sort of combination of like doing something live versus, I think, the more standard performance art that will kind of look like here in a second.
I got it. So one thing that's really important is the process in your art is sometimes a lot more beautiful than what the end result is. So I feel like any type of art creation is a performance art if you're like recording it. So like this piece behind me, if you watch the process, which hopefully next week or this week we'll post it. It's like 7 minutes of me just sitting there and having the piece come to life, and I feel like that in a way is a performance. It's a process, and that's what you fall in love with when you're creating art is the process of doing it. So like I feel like it could be both for real. And then performance art, I don't know much to tripping on my words. Performance art. Performance art is art because it's a performance. Sometimes you just might be confused, and that's okay because sometimes I think the point of performance art is just to be like very confusing. It's not though. It's they have meanings. Like one of my favorite ones is where like we talked about on an episode before, where a guy puts this thing around his neck and then starts sweeping up all the broken things, and it was called Blue Collar Worker. That one was beautiful because it's like literally he has a blue collar around and then he has to sweep up, like, you know. So I just think any message can be received from any type of art. It just depends if the art is for you or not.
Well, I'm glad you're going into it so open-minded because we're about to play a game I want to call Trend or Trash. So I've pulled 5 pieces of art, performance art, and we're going to take a look at them, and we're going to see, do we think that this is something that constitutes maybe good performance art or something that maybe isn't our particular taste? So this is going to be the first one.
Meanwhile, neither of us are performance artists.
Yeah, we know absolutely nothing about performance art. This is purely just, do we like it? Do we not like it? I would love to get your opinion on it. This is totally going to be for fun. There's no hate on any of these artists.
None.
But I would love to just kind of see, because it's something fun. It's not something that we particularly are experts in at all. I don't really, the closest I get is maybe videography, but even that isn't usually live. And then you obviously paint on live streams, but that's also not necessarily, the art itself is not doing it live, but it's what you're making. So I think this could be really interesting to kind of compare what we do to some other people's interpretations. So this first one here is pretty well known. It is from, let me see, a couple years back, I think 5 years ago. This is Banksy's art getting shredded.
I love this one. Them literally freaking out.
I think the reactions are the best part of this one and what the goal was, right?
Yeah, and they're like, wait, what's happening? It's the fact that that person knew to record. I hope my art sells at Sotheby's one day.
Yeah, it's the knowing to record, and then honestly, I really appreciate just the work that would have gone into hiding a shredder inside of it. Like this part right here. This is so creative to me, to be able to like make a frame that disguises what's going to happen. Like no one knew this was going to happen.
Chills when it said going, gone. Like, it's so funny that he did that, because it just reflects exactly what Banksy is. Like, his art has always been like graffiti, and I don't even know the fact, I can't even word what I'm thinking, because I just think it's so fascinating that he did that. Because that's something that is a forethought. That is something you're thinking about so far behind for the future. That's just incredible.
And there's something to being able to put on a performance and not be there that really gets me.
Yeah.
Like, this happened, and he's not the one that's actually doing the performance, but he's still getting that message across. I think it's definitely super trendy, super smart. I totally relate with this.
And he's trendy and smart. Because, like, I'd do that. It's something that I'm doing for like, my own future forethoughts. Like, I have these series of pieces that are, like, maybe either 4 or 2 at a time. And I'm basically... I imagine it's called, like, going to be, like, called, like, collecting the 4 or whatever. So I call them sibling pieces. And my goal is that, like, in the future, all these people are going to have all these sibling pieces that go together. But art historians are hopefully going to have to go hunt them down to find out who has these pieces. And that's just a sleigh. Like, imagine being part of a lifelong scavenger hunt.
No, that's so
That'd be
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Okay, this next performance is totally different scale. This is a dude who does kind of performances on his own, records them, and then posts them. So let's see what you think of this.
Time. Slow up. Before that, you make something and then wait for the show, and everything goes so slow. But my creative mind goes so fast. I just find new things to do all the time. So the dark side of creativity.
I like how he says it's the dark side of his creativity when he gets frustrated.
And I want to
I think what I like the most about this is it's like, go back to like or middle school when they're teaching you about like axles and pulleys and stuff. It's kind of combining the science and the art together. Now, it's like, I know it's art and I know it's performance art, but I'm like, this looks like pulleys and axles and just releasing out anger. And if that's your way of creativity to let out and express yourself, by all means do it. And that's what he's doing. It looks like fun. Like, that looks like fun.
Oh, it looks like so much fun.
Yeah. Like, why does he have a saw in his face?
Here in Oslo, Norway.
This,
Yes, you could say that my work has a sort of Scandinavian.
I question.
I feel like, oh,
I'm always very serious
I-
in my videos. No nonsense.
yeah.
Part of me
I'm-
questions what he's trying to say because I don't really get it past the
When I had small
destructive
kids,
part of it.
They were building
Yeah,
things,
same.
immediately-
But it looks
Like,
like
'cause, like,
fun.
It looks like fun, like dropping a ladder on a ring of spaghetti, but like, if I were thinking performance art, I don't know why, in my own way, I would think that it's like I'm making a painting as a performance, or like filling these water balloons up with, or these balloons up with some type of paint and then breaking them to have a something be created out of it. I feel like this is definitely just like destruction art, which is fine. I don't know, it's like, it's giving one of those break rooms, like that you
Yeah,
can go
I was
into
gonna
and just
say the exact
destroy.
same thing.
Yeah.
He's definitely
it's
unleashing his
interesting.
inner child. I mean, listen,
Yes,
this is stuff I
yes.
would have loved to do as a kid.
Yeah. And like, if there was an exhibit where like kids could just go break stuff, like go break the art, that'd be fun. Or like, I mean, I guess that's still a destruction room, you know? Like, I think it's interesting how he's doing this. It's definitely giving a lot of inner child creativity and just doing what your little inner child wants. Like, what is this? What?
He put
Bro,
his
how are you
arm there
getting
on
out of that?
purpose too.
Yeah. And obviously, like, the thing about performance art, too, is that, like, you're wanting to evoke a reaction. Sometimes this shit's not gonna make sense because the reaction is the art. Maybe.
Attention from the whole world suddenly. So I went from having shows with a few hundred visitors.
It looks like a block of cheese.
Yeah,
Spot
right.
on that, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of inner child play fun. I think what his message is probably just like, not even, like, I mean, he described that it was the destruction of it. I'm quite inspired by other performance artists. Those from the beginning of performance era. See, now I want to go look into performance era, like all the things.
I know, I have to say, I took art history in college. But they never really went into this kind of stuff.
Yeah, because like my favorite performance artist is Michael Allen Alien. They literally dress themselves in paint and trash, not trash, like just things, and they look like monsters, like paintings of monsters, and I love that type of performance art where you're getting the paint involved, I guess.
This next one is interesting because it's definitely a performance, and I think he manages to combine that unexplained
love this
art with something
I
that
love this
just
one.
connects with me so much and actually makes sense to me.
I actually love this one. Because if you guys watched the last episode, this is exactly the description of what it's gonna be. Like, your art journey is exactly gonna be this. You're gonna take a step forward and you're gonna go take a step back. Like, you're gonna be reaching for the top and then you're gonna fall a step back. Like, this one gives me chills because this one gives a message. It's beautiful.
It really is, and him falling off even at the top and tumbling all the way back down.
Ooh, this one, see, I get chills because that's like what happened to me. Like, I was almost at the top in September. I was literally like at the finish line. And then I derailed and I fell down those stairs again, and now I'm having to completely build it back up. I think this describes like almost like a tower moment perfectly too. Like, you're trying to get to the top, but like before your reality can change, everything's gonna crumble. And that's what happened. Like, I love this piece. And now,
yeah, he just completely
the
falls
end,
off the
too.
stairs.
yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like I fell off the stairs. But obviously, if you still want that so badly and it's your passion, you're gonna pick yourself up and get there.
There is so much skill
cute.
behind this too. Like, the aerial people and the people who do the trampoline stuff, like, don't get it wrong. Landing on the exact stairs he's trying to is not easy.
Yeah, I love this video. I'm so glad that you put this one in because, like, this one is powerful. So, like, that's when it brings in, like, art about intention and no intention. Like, this had intention in it, but, like, sometimes I create pieces where I don't start with intention and then the intention comes out. but this one, like, it has intention. Meanwhile, I feel like the last one didn't really have intention, you know?
Yeah, it was a little bit
but
of
it had
chaos art.
Chaos art, and that's fine. Aww.
Okay, this one has a bit of a story to it. I don't know
Y'all
which clip
better
I
know
pulled,
this.
but this one is so cool to me.
This one makes me want to cry.
I know.
And this is such a young video of her. Look at her engaging with the crowd.
For those of you who might not know what this is, so there was a group of people, I think it was Japanese artists, who assembled this robot, and its sole purpose was to keep the spill, whatever this dye is or whatever, to keep it in a certain radius near it. And so this is the robot as it's kind of like trying to, I think this is towards the end when it started going crazy because it couldn't keep everything in. This one really resonates with me for sure.
Yeah, because, like, I haven't seen this clip where she's not doing anything. Like, she's literally going insane. Oh, that just clicked with me. Okay, it's like, imagine this robot being a feeling being, all right? And it's stuck in this box, having to clean up after itself. I can only imagine, like, what if I was stuck in a box, having to just clean up? Like, I'd go insane.
Doing the same thing over and over again. And it never getting you anywhere, right? Because it keeps getting away from you. And so you're doing the same thing and trying to hold everything together, and it just keeps falling apart. And you're doing that year after year. I just think that is so profound.
I feel like that's a great example of, like, when something's not working out for you, it's time to change. Like, that's just, like, a message. Because, like, I mean, she can't change. She can't change what she's doing. But, like, in our physical world, when something keeps on not working out for you, know that it's okay to change what you're doing. Because maybe the things that were working aren't working now. Just like how, like, before the pandemic, what worked then doesn't work now anymore. Like, we know it's not working. Sorry, I don't know how that came up, but...
No, I'm right there with you. Okay, this is the last one. Yeah, I'm not going to give any build up to this one because I saw this while scrolling and it was something else.
Oh? Is this the whole performance?
Yeah, this is the whole thing. It's 10 seconds.
Because I remember in the comment section, when I saw it, it was about the process being the performance art and having to stack those buckets together.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. This was the only clip I have, but this was like the crowning achievement part of it, apparently.
Yeah.
Was stepping away from that final bucket.
Yeah. That's the thing, that, like, the reaction, too, is part of the art. Are you going to sit here and critique it, or are you just going to be like, all right, some buckets fell? Yeah, I don't understand the point of this one. I don't think I will. It's okay. It's not for everyone. I'm not everyone.
I will say, watching it one more time, I didn't notice that at the beginning he cuts a hole in the bottom one and sand's coming out, and that's why it falls. I'd never seen that before.
Wait.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the video right here, he has a knife in his hand, and he cuts the last one. So, I'm not going to lie. I added this one because I thought it was the most ridiculous, but I might actually be changing my opinion because...
Wait.
Yeah, so he...
Because now I'm thinking about, like, the foundation.
Right, like, that's exactly where my mind just went.
Is your foundation solid? Is your foundation solid enough to hold up everything? And, like, going back to the one where the dude was falling off that thing, it's like... If your foundation isn't stable, you're gonna crash and burn.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, that kind of changed my entire perspective.
I really like this now.
I didn't get it, and then seeing him cut the hole in the bottom one, and, like, that's why it topples over. I think I kind of like it.
Yeah, now that I notice, I like it a lot now. Because, like, truly, it's like that foundation, and if your foundation gets a hole in it, or has a hole in it, whatever you stack up on top is not gonna stay. So like literally having that foundation is so important. That's why like in episode 4, starting with like having a base will only help you go to success. I don't even know, cut that. I like this now. That's interesting.
So those were the 5 I pulled. I think our general consensus is art can really actually be anything, but sometimes you have to be in the right headspace for it.
Yeah, to like understand and like question what's going on. It's something that art is such it's a right brain thing, and it's looking deeper for the messages and having to like, I don't know, it feels like a critical analysis that we're doing. Like, when people look at my art, I'm like, I want them to tap into that right brain and be able to like dig deeper, dig further into it. Because if you're looking at it from a left brain perspective, like how we watched that sandbox, the sand bucket one, we were kind of in our left brain first, and then we're like, wait a second, there's more here.
Yeah, that definitely changed my perspective on that last one. I'm still not too sure about the destructive art. I'm still not sure about that one. But maybe it's just being in the right headspace for it to connect with it, or maybe it's not meaningless.
And yeah, and if he just wants attention, that's fine. That's art. Like anything can be art, and that's what's beautiful about art. But I think there is still a difference between hobby art and like professional art. You know, we could go into that, but I don't really want to, because I don't want to ever discredit anyone from like making art or like be like, no, you shouldn't make art unless it's XYZ. Like, no, go scribble, go let out your inner child, go destroy stuff. I have this painting behind me. Like when I made this painting, I literally had blue paint all over my hands, and I was slapping the shit out of this painting. Like if you look at the back, you can tell I was just abusing the painting, because it's the emotional release that comes with the art and the process that I feel like makes art. Like, what emotions were you feeling, and how did you express it? And if the chaos guy wanted to just break stuff for his form of art, that's completely okay. You know, he got his destruction out, and he didn't hurt anyone.
And clearly there is an audience for anything. I mean, all those pieces had either major followings or just a crowd of people who were there. So if you find something that truly inspires you, I can guarantee you there's probably someone else out there, or a lot of other people who are inspired by that too. So don't let your expectations kind of limit you in that way, I don't think.
Yeah. There's always a crowd for everything, truly. Like, I wasn't even on YouTube for the longest time, because I was like, who the fudge is on YouTube? Me finally correcting myself with a curse word. But then I'm like, wait a second. There's literally like 8 billion people on this planet now. We went up a number. Yeah, so it's like, there's truly an audience for everything. And if somebody tells you that there isn't, they are lying, because you just haven't found it yet.
This was a bit of a sillier episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to send us some of your interesting art pieces you might have seen, different performances. We would love to do this again. Other than that, guys, be sure to like this video, share it with a friend, hit that notification bell.
And yes, and then go check out sipandjoelle.com if you're interested in any prints, or don't get the stickers. I have not updated those, and we do not have a lot. I'm actually doing a new sticker order, so hopefully new sticker designs coming out, new prints coming out. Yeah.
So be sure to follow the socials, Instagram especially, for updates on that. There will probably be a pre-order option this time when those start coming out. So if you are interested in any of the art you see, print stickers, like she said, be sure to go follow us on social media, and we will catch you guys next time.
See ya. Bye.